Why do you guys like playing with beetles? Don't you think the beetles like being by themselves?
No. Don't. No, but it's our pet. He likes us.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he likes us. It's our pet.
We've been promising the kids we're going to build them a playhouse over there. And it has yet to happen because things just keep coming up and we get too busy, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's the next main priority and we're not moving it. But we have a few things to get ready first. A few little things we got to get out of the way, and we decided to just spend today to try and get all those little things finished up. We have pigs showing up today or tomorrow, and we don't have a pig pen set up, so that's the first priority. And then we have a few other things we're going to do after that. So we're out with the whole team, including our newest addition, and we're going to try and get a bunch of stuff done today. Last year we kind of kept our pigs down in the area underneath this tarp. We were using them to try and help get rid of the quack grass. We've managed to get rid of it for the most part in our gardening area. It's just we want to deal with it around the edges because it'll just start creeping back in. So we're going to start with them down there. We're training them on an electric fence, and that hopefully will give us some flexibility with where we put them. All right, we have their pen mostly finished. We got the cattle panel around. We have the T-posts, which are going to hold our electric fence all the way around. I'm just missing insulators for 1, 2, 3 posts. So I'm missing 6 insulators, which I will go get, and I'll grab the wire, and then we can install the Energizer. I actually built this probably a year ago and we just never ended up using it, but it's basically just a deep cycle battery, a solar panel, a fence charger, and I set it all up, and then I realized I don't have a way of unhooking it right away because I just twisted the wires onto the electric fence. So I quickly ran and grabbed, just through a light switch, and so it goes from the battery to here to the charger. So if I want to turn the fence on or off, I just hit this light switch. To buy an actual like unit, solar powered unit, they're super expensive, which is why I just bought all the parts. I think I paid like 30 bucks for this at Canadian Tire. And then the battery was maybe 80 bucks, and then the charger was about 80 bucks. So it probably cost me about $200 to set this whole thing up. This part here, this is just an old like battery cable from a car, and that I had to drill it out a little bit to fit the ground rod, but this works perfect. And then this is just some wiring from something else that I used. So I think this is going to work really, really well. So the next job on the to-do list is we want to scrape all of this manure out from under this tree, because I'm worried that all of this nitrogen is going to kill the tree. This is where we had the horses. We had the horses' hay set up all winter. So they spent the entire winter eating hay under this tree, and there's like 6 inches thick worth of horse droppings around the tree. So I'm gonna scrape it all out from under the tree. I'm gonna put a whole bunch of it into this old water trough, and I'm gonna use it as a worm. I'm gonna put worms in it, and then the rest of it, I'm probably just gonna pile it up and let it compost. Alright, we got all this poop cleaned up into a nice sized compost pile. It was actually a lot more than I thought it would be. Next job is to get ready for our feed delivery on Monday. I have a big truck coming. They're dropping off bulk feed for the pigs and chickens, and I'm putting them into apple crates. So we'll head over there next. I'll show you what we have going on. All right, so these are my apple bins. I'm going to be using them to store feed. So there's a company that's a few hours away from us. They come and they'll load like a silo, or they'll load grain totes. And I found these on Marketplace. They are, I think they were 30 or 40 bucks a piece, and I bought 18 of them. And I'm planning on filling, well, they only do a minimum order of 3 tons. So I have to buy 3 tons, and I'm buying 3 tons of pig feed and 3 tons of chicken pellets. And then I'm going to be selling them on Marketplace. That's my plan, to kind of subsidize my feed costs so that we actually make money with eggs. These totes have like drain holes in the bottom, which that will not work for feed. So I had some leftover flashing, and I filled them in with that flashing. And I think I have 4 totes like this with the flashing in the bottom. And then for the rest of them, I'm just going to be using 2x4s, and I'll just screw a 2x4 on the bottom. All right, so we got 9 bins set up and ready. I do have 2 more sitting up in my work that I have to go get tomorrow morning, but I think this should be more than enough for our grain. And now that this is done, this was supposed to be done yesterday, but we just didn't get to it. Now that this is done, we're going to go set the sawmill up and get ready to mill some lumber for the kids' playhouse. All right, I've got the mill set up again in a new location, and I've got 2 big old utility poles that I'm going to be milling up into beams for the kids' playhouse. Now, what you want to check on a power pole is for checks like this. So this is running, this might only go a little bit into the log, but on some power poles, they will run the entire length of the log, and they can be quite deep. So if I'm cutting, I want to make sure my cut line lines up with that, because say for instance I was cutting siding, and if I was cutting my siding this way, every single board would have a cut right through the middle of it, and it would just fall apart. So I would want to cut my siding right on this check line so that my boards are all clean. The other thing you have to really check with poles is that you pull out any nails or spikes or any metal, because quite often, especially near the bottom, I'm trying to find some here, it's very common to have staples. I know there are some on this log, I just gotta find them. It's very common to have staples, I can't see them, staples, nails, and all sorts of other things. Here, there's a nail right there. So you really have to check to make sure you have all the nails pulled, because I have lost blades to nails before, and it's expensive. All right, we've got all this feed in the shop now, and which means I have to try and sell it now because it's literally taking up the entire bay of my workshop and the entire bay of my garage, my side of the garage. So I'm going to get on Marketplace. I got to put some ads on, try and sell it. The other thing is our pigs. They were supposed to arrive this weekend and they haven't shown up yet. So I'm gonna have to find out where they are and if they're still coming. Worst case scenario, we're ready for them whenever they show up. So that's about it for this video. Next one, I'm gonna have the, we're gonna be building the playhouse. I figured we'd just do it in a separate video just because it's gonna end up being way too long. So that's what's coming up. We also have to get our garden planted. That's another priority for the next week or two. It looks like the last sort of frosts are over. It's gonna be nice warm days. So stay tuned for some gardening videos.